Hello, everyone, and welcome to Listen and Learn English, the podcast where we journey through the English language, one story at a time. Today, we have a special story about Ming and his little adventure. It's a tale about curiosity, responsibility, and the little surprises of everyday life. The story is great for beginners, focusing on simple vocabulary and present tense. So let's get started. But before we dive into our story, let's explore some key words that will help you to understand and enjoy it even more. The first word is sneak. To sneak means to move quietly and cautiously to avoid being seen or heard. Think of a cat moving silently. For example, he tried to sneak into the room without anyone noticing. Our next word is regret. Regret means to feel sorry or sad about a past action or decision. It's that I wish I hadn't done that feeling. For instance, she regretted eating the entire cake by herself. I know I have. Lastly, we have secret. A secret is something that is not known by many people and is kept hidden. It's like a surprise that you're not supposed to tell others. For example, they planned a secret birthday party for their friend. Keep these words in mind as we go through our story. They'll pop up, and when they do, you'll know exactly what they mean. Now let's immerse ourselves in today's story. Remember, listen carefully as we follow the adventures of Ming and his mother's bike. Here we go. Ming loved his mother's bike. It was dark blue, which was his favorite color. It had a giant basket on it, where his mother carried new toys or delicious foods. Most of all, Ming loved his mother's bike because it was big, and it didn't have pictures on it. Ming's bike was bright red, with pictures of Pikachu on it. Ming had a child's bike. Ming wanted to ride a big, adult bike just like his mother did. Today, he finally got the chance to ride her bike. When his mother was making dinner, he sneaked out and took the bike. Ming knew he was big enough he could ride the bike himself. His little brother Ling made riding the bike much harder, though. "No, stop! This isn't fun," Ling shouted on the back of the bike. Ming pedaled the bike faster, trying to get home before his mom saw them. They would be in trouble if she knew Ming had taken the bike. Ming regretted bringing his little brother along. "Stop!" his brother shouted again. Finally, Ming made it home. His little brother and he got off the bike. Their mom was still in the kitchen, and she hadn't seen them. Ming was happy. "That secret bike ride on Mom's bike was fun," Ling shouted, loud enough for the mom in the kitchen to hear. She came outside. Ming was sad. He had almost gotten away with it. And that's the end of our story. A tale of adventure, family, and a little bit of mischief. Great listening, everyone. Now, let's test your understanding with some questions about the story. Here we go. Question number 1. What color was Ming's mother's bike, and why did Ming like it? Question number 2. What kind of bike did Ming have, and how was it different from his mother's bike? Question number 3. Why did Ming take his mother's bike? Question number 4. How did Ling, Ming's little brother, feel about the bike ride? Question number 5. What was Ming's main concern while riding the bike? And question number 6. How did the story end? And what was Ming's feeling about it? Think about these questions as we'll revisit them after a short break with the answers and the explanations, so stay tuned. Welcome back. I hope you had a chance to think about the questions. Let's go through them with the answers and explanations. Question number 1 was, what color was Ming's mother's bike, and why did Ming like it? Well, Ming's mother's bike was dark blue, which was Ming's favorite color. And he liked it because it was big and it didn't have pictures on it, unlike his own child's bike. Question number 2 was, what kind of bike did Ming have? And how was it different from his mother's bike? Well, Ming had a bright red bike with pictures of Pikachu on it. This is in contrast to his mother's larger and plain colored bike. Question number 3 was, why did Ming take his mother's bike? Well, Ming took the bike because he wanted to ride a big adult bike like his mother, and he finally got the chance when she was busy making dinner. Question number 4. How did Ling, Ming's little brother, feel about the bike ride? Well, if you remember, Ling did not enjoy the bike ride. He shouted, "No, stop, and this isn't fun," while he was on the back of the bike. Question number 5 was, what was Ming's main concern while riding the bike? Ming was worried about getting home before his mother saw them because he knew they would be in trouble for taking her bike without permission. Question number 6 was, how did the story end and what was Ming's feeling about it? Well, the story ends with Ming being sad. He was initially very happy to have returned home unnoticed, but then his little brother loudly yelled out about how fun the secret bike ride was. And then our mother heard that, so that wasn't very good. And now that we've reviewed the story, let's look at the grammar point highlighted in our tale. In today's story, we came across an excellent example of the past continuous tense. This tense is used to describe actions that were ongoing in the past. For instance, when we say Ming was pedaling the bike faster, the action of pedaling is ongoing in the story's past. The structure of the past continuous tense is was or were plus the verb ing. Okay? For example, Ling was shouting, ing, or Ming was riding. See, we have was for past tense, but then we have the ing on our verb. It's particularly useful for setting the scene in a story and describing actions in progress. Remember, using the correct tense helps to set the time of your actions and makes your English sound much more natural. And that brings us to the end of today's episode for Listen and Learn English. We journeyed together through a delightful story about Ming, his mother's bike, and a little adventure with his little brother Ling. We learned some new vocabulary words like sneak, regret, and secret. And we tested our comprehension with questions about the story and explored the use of the past continuous tense in grammar. Remember, the best way to improve your English is through practice and engagement. Try using the new words and grammar we learned today in your own sentences. Maybe even tell a story of your own. Thank you for joining me, Chris, on this linguistic adventure. And don't forget to tune in to our next episode for more stories and learning. Until then, keep practicing, keep learning, and remember that you are awesome. I can't wait to see you next time.